saying? Let me go and show. I need my spring to get back working. Spring to get back working. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get my. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get my screen back right. Screen back right. Dude, man, no, I can't see on my damn screen. Alright, there we go. Had to get this shit right, you understand me? Goddamn.
Intimacy is just intimacy, right? So with each person and each partner that you share yourself with, you're able to share parts of yourself that you might not be able to share with other partners that allow you really to show up and learn yourself. You think when you get into relationships, I was married and monogamous for 8 years and we were both fronting.
All right, let's get to it.
Now we got to go help people customize and save hundreds. But where's the golf cart?
And the first prompt is, humans are naturally wired for monogamy.
All right, that's the first prompt. Humans are naturally wired for monogamy. Hey, what it do? What's up?
Anyone can elaborate or speak on their thoughts on that question.
Well, you said humans. From my life experience, I have found that men are not biologically made for monogamy.
I completely agree with that.
Hence my thumbs down. But I believe women, and this I'm speaking generally, women tend to be more monogamous in my life experience as an Indian American millennial.
I think that humans, or however people self-identify, aliens too, individuals have a lot of love to give, and I think that society has placed a barrier up to what love looks like and means like for a lot of people. And I think that our species is definitely meant to spread love and in a different capacity than I think what we believe. You know, it doesn't inherently have to be a sexual connection. It can be an emotional connection. It could be a positive connection. And I think that us as individuals and humans, we're meant for that.
I will say though, I think that you can be monogamous and love people all day long. You know, I don't think that just because you're polyamorous, that means you're the one that's pouring more love out into the world.
Yeah,
I've been single and monogamous for a long time, and I feel like I've never given so much love as I am now.
That's a beautiful take on it. I can agree with that too. You know, I think that it's allowing yourself to open up to different types of connections too, and being able to have that love with the level of vulnerability that brings in the relationship aspect with that individual. Because sometimes there is like that barrier when you're not with someone.
You know, you said that you have like a lot of love to give, and that doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. Like at the same time, that is monogamy. Like you can be monogamous with one person, but then also spread love elsewhere. You can give it to your friends, you can give it to your family, you give it everywhere. It doesn't necessarily mean you have, like you said, you literally just said sexual. So technically, you are kind of describing monogamy in a way.
So do you think that monogamy has to do with sexuality? Because let's think about the people who are asexual in polyamorous or in different types of relationships. It's not inherently just that sexual aspect. It's a type of connection you have with an individual more than anything else.
Personally, I believe monogamy is like when somebody's having a relationship with someone in a sexual relationship. And that's
the beginning
monogamy.
of that part one more time for me.
Monogamy
No, before that.
is between two people. It's having a relationship, an intimate relationship between two people, which usually consists of sexual activity.
I have a question for everyone here. Can you fully commit to more than one person at a time?
Absolutely.
One partner
Yes,
at a time?
absolutely.
Can you fully commit? Okay, anyone want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, touching on what you said, I would agree with most of what's being said because yes, my longest standing polyamorous relationship is 13 years and it's a non-sexual relationship. And I'm fully committed, I'm totally invested, I'm totally in love, he's totally in love, we're committed to each other. And then there are partners that, you know, I like to break it down with people that I work with that there's a heart choice, a head choice, and a womb choice, right? So the person that guides you spiritually might take you closer to God. They might not be the person that the womb specifically speaks to, right? Or the one that speaks to your heart, the one that opens you up to that abundance of love that you spoke of. That's a different experience. So each of my partners contribute to the whole holiness in myself, and they contribute in different ways. So I fully commit to all of them.
So I have a question for you. In that case, so if different people are sort of meeting the different needs that you have, don't you feel like maybe you could be exclusive with one person as a partner and then have friendships or other connections that meet some of those other intimate parts? Or do you think that intimacy that you are sharing with these people is so intimate that it has to be considered like a relationship?
Well, yes. So do I believe that can happen? Yes. But if we take it and break it down, intimacy is just intimacy, right? So with each person and each partner that you're sharing yourself with, you're able to share parts of yourself that you might not be able to share with other partners that allow you really to show up and learn yourself. You think when you get into relationships, I was married and monogamous for 8 years and we were both fronting, you know, like he kept having affairs and doing the thing. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't mind a sister wife to your biological nature, right? So, and like, let's just talk about it and let's be forward facing about it so we can have a dialogue, so we can expand, because I'm about community, village building. And I believe that the partnerships that, you know, they contribute to me, yeah, like it's polyamorous because it means many loves. And that's that.
Did you become polygamous because of cheating? Because of the fact that he was seeking others?
No, I initially, so that played a role, but the initial start was I have a friend that was my friend since I was 12, and I love him. And when I got married, my husband was like, you got to get rid of him. You know, I'm here now, and I'm the one, and I can tell by the way he looks at you that he might want to. And I'm like, no, I don't get those vibes, but as a woman, I got those vibes. But I also know how I am, you know,
So
and I'm
she
like,
lied.
okay, now I'm trying to put
So she lied. She was lying.
on this mask of monogamy. I'm trying to portray myself as being, as if all the love I am, all of the just, you know, I'm in 1,000 colors. All of that can be closed into one space. So I'm like, let's give it a shot.
Do you mind elaborating when you said cheating did kind of?
Well, yes, it contributed to the decision because, like I said, the friend that I had, he was somebody that I wasn't willing to let go of. And so my husband was like, well, if you're not willing to let him go, then I don't think that we're in a monogamous marriage. He's Muslim, very strong Muslim.
This is a panel that I'm watching of women. This is a panel of women. It's like 4 to 5 women on each side, and the main topic is monogamous versus polyamorous, but they have different topics that they bring up, you know what I'm saying, throughout. So the first one is humans are naturally wired for monogamy.
More than anything else. Once you lose that,
Put the pressure on one person to make me fully happy.
I don't think we have to as a monogamous person. I don't go into relationships thinking that that person has to fulfill everything. I don't. I rely on myself. I have a relationship with myself.
Absolutely.
And I love strangers, and
That feels like a compromise, what you just mentioned. It sounds like a compromise saying like, I can't find anyone, so I'm gonna compromise and be polygamous.
I'm solo poly specifically, which means that I'm my own primary partner. So I come first, and anyone I date is secondary to me. And I had to do that because I was just getting burned relationship after relationship. And I feel like I'm at a place where I can't give all of myself to somebody anymore.
So
I just
what does
can't.
that look like? What
So
you're describing?
It basically means that I'm single and dating, if you want to look at it like that. But I'm not looking to get married. I personally don't want children, so that's not a goal. And I feel like when you're dating too, that's always the first thing people ask. Like, do you want to get married?
Listening to these panels, y'all really get to hear women's point of view and what the fuck they be doing.
Want to have kids? And when you say no, people automatically assume you're a slut and that you
Hold
just
on,
want
wait,
to sleep. When
what?
you what, Paul?
Go
That
back.
sounds like a compromise, the
Hold
other what
on,
you just mentioned.
what?
It sounds like a compromise saying like, I can't find anyone, so I'm gonna compromise and be polygamous.
I'm solo poly specifically, which means that I'm my own primary partner. So I come first, and anyone I date is secondary to me. And I had to do that because I was just getting burned relationship after relationship. And I feel like I'm at a place where I can't give all of myself to somebody anymore.
So what does that look like? What you're describing?
It basically means that I'm single and dating, if you want to look at it like that. But I'm
Yeah, I heard this right. She said she is solo poly, meaning her definition of that is she put herself first and her partner comes second.
I'm not that I'm single and dating.
And then she said that means that she's single, but she's dating. So she's single, but she dating somebody. That's her definition. Y'all hear this shit?
What does that look like? What you're
So
describing?
It basically means that I'm single and dating, if you want to look at it like that. But I'm not looking to get married. I personally don't want children, so that's not a goal. And I feel like when you're dating too, that's always the first thing people ask. Like, do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? And when you say no, people automatically assume you're a slut and that you just want to sleep around. And it's not like that.
At all.
You know, and it really is about the person too, you know, and I do think that people come with different things that they can offer you, and different people satisfy different needs in your life, and friendships are not, you know.
So you're dating non-exclusively?
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah, I find it really interesting in what you were saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounded like you were saying that you used to date other people to fulfill your needs.
I used to be monogamous, and I either was cheated on in every single relationship, or the guy was opposite, like so jealous, so monogamous, and so jealous where if I even mentioned another guy's name, they'd have a mental breakdown, you know? And I was just like, I don't want any of this anymore. I also am sick of that, you know, the negative feedback loop you get in your head where you're like, what's he doing right now? Why isn't he texted? What's happening right now? Like, I never want to feel that way ever again.
Sounds like protection.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
major
Like
protection.
And I love that.
Question for you ladies on the monogamy side specifically. If monogamy were truly natural, why do so many people struggle to stay faithful?
But they have.
I've worn contact lenses for the past 10 years of my life.
Hold on, no free
It's been
promo.
something that I've had to keep up with for the
In my life experience, I'm 38 years young, Indian Americans. I have both cultures coming at me. So in my life experience, I found that it's the men who have difficulty staying loyal and being monogamous. I've always been loyal and committed, even because and my problem is I fall in love with just one kiss, but I won't even let a guy kiss me. I know him, I trust him.
She said, it's the men. Do this motherfucker not know how many women are thoughts out here and be cheating and shit? Come on.
Mentioned asexuality earlier.
Cut it out.
I've just learned through life, I'm actually asexual, but within asexuality, there's something called demisexual. I've learned in the past 2 years that's what I am. A demisexual in any culture, they need to have an intellectual and emotional connection with a man, or whatever, whomever, before they can let anything physical happen.
And so that's me, but I've also realized that's not easy. It's not easy for me to find a man who will take the time to get to know me and earn my trust and establish that intellectual and emotional connection before leaving or ghosting me because he's not getting anything
To your
from me.
question, like why do men like?
My question is, if monogamy were truly natural, why do so many people struggle to stay faithful? She just mentioned that she finds it's only men, but that's not true.
Of men are faithful, and in today's society, it's just a lot easier to be tempted or whatnot, and it's really up to the person to do so or not. I do believe that when it comes to cheating, it has nothing to do with like. It might not even be a sexual thing. It might just be there's a lack of communication in the relationship, or that person is something else is going on in that relationship, and that person that cheated, that they need to take care of. Like they need to go to therapy and figure it out. Like, but they're coming out in that way. They're using cheating instead of like dealing with their issues.
And a lack of coping.
Yeah, lack of coping. And today, like I said, there's more temptation. There's social media. There's more out there, and it's easier to just swipe right or left. I mean,
I think also it's a lot of unhealed trauma that people are dealing with, because again, it's not only just men. You know, I also know some women as well, and so I think if you're not really truly happy with yourself, they pour onto you these traumas, you know, and it's like, it's not hard to be faithful. It's really not. But I think it's something within them that they're dealing with.
Hurt people.
Absolutely.
I also think, like, I think we kind of hear it here, is that we think that another person is going to alleviate us. And so I think cheating can come from, I need to get something else to alleviate me, rather than sit with myself or face the person that I'm feeling absent from, or something's missing, whatever it is. So I think it's just, as a culture, that's what's influencing us to go get something else to, numb us in a moment.
What about people who just, they're just attracted to people? So a woman is on a flight, she sees a guy, he's really handsome, he's sparking up something that's just never really been sparked up before, and it's not about an insecurity, it's just loving that exploration, or the temptation of just doing something different or having fun or whatever that might be.
I guess it's then, like, don't be in a monogamous relationship. You know, I think we know ourselves to a degree, or I think that's like the uncomfortable, but also, the honorable part, the privilege of being with someone, that you would have to go to them and be like, I saw someone on this flight, or I just saw someone and I'm feeling something,
Why can't a monogamous relationship be fun? I feel like on both sides there's unhealed versions of people, and if you're in a poly dynamic because you feel a void and you're filling that void, then you're obviously not doing this right. If it's you're fully happy, you're happy where you're at, and you want to add on to that experience, then it's a healthy way of doing it. Everyone's honest, everybody's having a good time, and everyone's feelings are safe, because you're not feeling a void. You're just adding on to, you're just healed, and you're excited to share that healed version of yourself with others and share love and get it back.
And the next prompt is, polyamorous relationships face more trust issues than monogamous ones.
I say no, because polyamory really requires you to look at yourself. First of all, jealousy is it's natural, right? But when you're dealing with jealousy, just my take, when I was polyamorous, when I was monogamous, I couldn't really express my jealousy, because it's like, I don't want to look insecure, or maybe I just have to be the good wife, I'm married, and this is a position that many of women desire to get to and can't, right? So because I'm in this position, I need to deal with my jealousy, I need to deal with my fear, I need to deal with the fact that all of this is happening. Whereas in polyamory, I get jealous, I'm able to sit down with my loving partner, and I'm like, hey, I'm feeling jealous about this. Are we able to work through this? Hey, I'm feeling insecure about something you did earlier. Can we walk through this journey together? Because one, it builds a stronger bond at the end of it. And then it also gives me a chance to really do the work. One thing that I realized, I was really stagnant with doing the work when I was monogamous, because I wasn't I didn't have anyone to work through me.
Wasn't reciprocated.
Yeah, they weren't working with me through the things I was going through. I was, let me call my girlfriends and let me just vent, girl. I just gotta vent instead of work through these things with my partner. Emotional intelligence ties into that, but also vulnerability that you tap into when you have a partner that holds space for that.
Like with me, I went into polyamory because I was in a very healthy, happy relationship with my husband of 10 years, but I also love women. And so when you're happy, you're doing life, but then there's a part of me that was missing, that female connection, that female touch is completely different than a man. And because me and my husband have had a very successful, awesome life together, and we're also BDSM educators and intimacy coaches, we've been exposed to a lot of healthy representations of these different dynamics that it opened up the conversation of like, okay, well, I would never touch you like a woman. I'm never gonna be a woman, so let's venture into this, and I want you to be happy. I don't want you to ever miss, So
you
that's
already were happy.
Yes, but I still love women, and why,
Deny yourself.
deny myself.
Are you still with your husband then?
Yeah.
So in that
So I've been
sense,
10 years, and I've
Okay.
been with her for 2 years.
okay, so in a sense, do you feel, this is probably related, is it okay to want more things and restrain from it? Just have restraint and say, hey, I know I want this and this will make me even happier, but I'm just gonna choose not to.
If your partner is willing and you have that communication, you have your boundaries, why are you limiting yourself in this life? This life that we only live once. Why limit yourself to those emotions? Why shove that deep down when you know this part will bring me happiness, will bring me joy, will fulfill whatever I have in here that I haven't been able to do that. If your partner is saying, I got you, just be honest with me, just talk to me about it, let's work through it together, why would you do that?
If you're even saying that it was gonna make me happier, why hold back?
Also, can I say,
Why deny yourself?
I practice restraint every day. Otherwise, I'd be sleeping with my roommates, which I've done before, and it has
And that
not
part
ended
too.
well. Right?
And
I
that's
practice a lot of restraint.
That's a great point, because I think a lot of people see polyamory and they're like, oh, these people just sleep with each other. But it's not, that's
Are
not
you all
even
sleeping
it.
together?
No, well,
I just
Just
feel
right
like I don't have, for me, like in a monogamous relationship, it's very rare when I'm jealous, and he's like, we're not jealous. There is no jealousy, like,
I love that feeling.
because we're in a relationship, we're just together, and there's trust. So if you have trust, there's no jealous. It's very rare, super rare, and to be jealous for me. And
Have you ever been cheated on?
yeah, of course. But I just left, and that was the end of that. And moved on
But
to
you
the
see
next
that's
thing.
normalized? Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
That
of
shouldn't
course.
be a
Yeah,
normal
because
thing.
when somebody cheats on you, that person is
unhealed.
not dealing with their own issues, and they're not really ready for a relationship. So you move on. But I've been very happy in my relationship where it's faithful. We're both faithful. During the time we're together, there's no jealousy. There doesn't need to be no jealousy. There's trust, and it's a healthy relationship. So it's not necessary. I do feel that, so studies have been done in Stanford University and Harvard, and it shows that people in polygamy relations are having more stress, having more heart attacks, higher risk of heart attacks, more stress, more anxiety, and more jealousy. So that's actual research. So I do feel personally that there is someone struggling even more so. Like your decision was that you wanted to have a female experience. Somebody else, right? Because your husband wasn't. While he wants you to be happy, he may also internally also be, he's sharing you. So he may not feel the way you feel about it.
But we're very open about it.
Yeah, but
there's jealousy on both sides.
Do you have an open marriage?
It can be. He doesn't choose to, but yes, it's open.
Also, can I just say, I do
Open for
not.
discussion. If he wants to go there, we can obviously talk about it. And that's us tapping into our and doing the work. And it's like, why am I gonna deny you? You know.
So then why stay married? I'm just curious.
Oh, for me, I value marriage, and I'll be married to all my husbands and all my wives for the rest of my life, however many I'm afforded, because I value witnessing my partner's growth. I value witnessing you go through the changes of life. I value witnessing you grow, me contributing to your development spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. All of these deposits that I make into you, this is something that I want to witness and I want to be a part of. It's so freeing to be able to pull up to my partners and bust down on all of the emotions and be held. Right. I remember when I met a gentleman once, it was completely platonic, if that's what you want to go, Plato, right? But I cried with my current partner about him when he left, and he held space for me so beautifully. Just like I'm pausing and crying in the store, he's taking me out to eat, I'm just crying, and he's like, come on, did you talk to him? Like that was the thing for me. It's like, yeah, this is freedom. This is me being able to express that I miss him, I like him, I appreciate him. He contributed something positive to my journey that changed me forever, and I can't be dishonest with that. And thank you for seeing me still and still loving me to keep going on this journey. 13 years.
I feel like just because I'm married and I have a girlfriend doesn't mean that I'm half committed. I'm fully committed. So being married, it's completely, it's completely okay and still have a girlfriend.
I have a question along the lines of what you just mentioned. Sorry. So how do breakups work in general? If one person wants to leave, how does the whole relationship end? How exactly do breakups work? Any of you can.
I don't believe in throwing humans away.
Well, breakups do happen.
Yeah,
so
but
how do they
work
happen?
through that?
I think it's a communication piece too, right? Because it's such a broad spectrum. Because there's different types of polyamory. There's different types of you have triads. You've got their V shape. So she might have a partner that, or like for instance, her husband. I'm a lesbian. I don't have sex with him, right? But I love him. I respect him. I give him everything in the world. I love him. I'd give him the shirt off if it would fit, But I think that every dynamic is a little different. It's just that communication piece. It could be, well, this kind of went to the shitter. This person's no longer in our lives, Or it could be, let's have a conversation about it. These are how do we handle conflict resolution? Like, what is the cause?
Hopefully
of
not
said
over
breakup?
a text.
You know what I mean? Definitely not over a text. We're grown. We're gonna communicate.
So you said
that
you
kind of
don't.
stuff.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So you said you don't believe in throwing humans away. Is that what you said?
Yes, that's true. Anyone I've ever loved, I'll always love.
So you still with your ex-husband?
Yes, we're still married. I'm still legally married. We're
You're still married.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So is your
Yeah,
husband, the husband you have now, right? You're married.
Yes.
So you said that you were married, but you were still in love. You kind of had this thing for your for your friend, a friend you had, a guy.
I don't think I had the thing. I received the thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, sorry.
Yeah.
So you desire this relationship with your friend.
Yes.
So then, did you at that point? Did your husband at that point become more like your best friend, non-sexual relationship, and then now your friend was more like the intimacy, sexual relationship? It kind of like diverted?
That's a good question. No, I wouldn't say so. I'm spiritual, so I did our natal charts and to bust things down. Like me and my husband are twin souls, so we're the exact same person. So when we were both trying to pull up and be monogamous, both of us were living inauthentic. So when I opened the door, like, hey, let's just be open, and you approach the women you enjoy, I'll approach the women I enjoy. I'm sorry, men and women. We can have a unified relationship. So no, I've never had sex with that person, that partner. He's still a friend of mine, but it just made him feel uncomfortable that he was someone that had eyes for me when he was so glued to monogamy. And I'm opening the door for another way of living that still gets total commitment from me, total loyalty, total everything. I'm going to be honest.
So are you being intimate with your husband still?
Yeah, occasionally.
So you're just not being intimate with your friend?
No, not that friend, because he's a friend, not a partner per se.
Oh,
because he's
so
monogamous.
You consider yourself polygamous in the sense that you have friendships with males, but you're not being intimate with them. However, you're only intimate with your husband.
No, it's a choice for me. I can be intimate with whoever I choose to be intimate with. It's the choice.
Also, real quick, there's a big difference between polyamory and polygamy. Polygamy, everybody's married. Polyamory, you're not married. So there's just a difference in
I'm just trying to figure out if you're having if you have multiple relationships with, because you're saying because you're married, but you're having, I guess you could wear the poly in it, but you're saying when you say poly for you specifically, it's spiritual.
So I practice open relating in the sense where, I figure out why each individual has come into my life and what contribution they have, so that I can better show up in that dynamic and figure out what my contribution is to them, as well as receive their contribution wholly. If you try to make a heart choice, a womb choice, you're gonna lose the lesson, the experience. God shows you God through other God beings. And so sometimes we miss out on that. This is, if you go Bible, right? You guys come together, and through that, certain things unlock for you when you're partnered versus when you're single. And most people who've been single, when you're single, you don't get the same things, right? When you come together with somebody, you guys actually do the work together, and that like amplifies your journey. So
kind of what you're describing to me sounds like friendships.
well, they're intimate. They're all intimate, and intimacy is not sexual. You know, intimacy is vulnerability. It's a lot of different things. It could be sexual, and I'm not saying I limit myself by just my husband I have sex with, you know, because that's not reality. But all my relationships are sustainable, they're ethical, and they're long lasting, upwards of the shortest is 3 years. And there's total commitment there. And so we can call them friends because we started off as friends. I'm not kissing and sleeping with people randomly, just, I carry myself with a little more than that. But once we start unpacking and unfolding, and I see where you are on your journey, we can contribute to each other's journey, and that's kind of what that is.
In this world, this realm that you call it, it feels confusing, like listening to you ladies. It sounds confusing. But do you feel that there's emotional confusion because you're inviting so many people, as you're saying, so many souls, so much into your spirit? Do you feel a lot more tension and confusion and all of that living this way?
I was more confused before when I was trying to be monogamous, honestly, and I was trying to navigate these relationships. I'm like, okay, this is the one, he's my soulmate. Like, it was always like, are you my soulmate? Are you my soulmate? I found my soulmate, you know? So yeah, I was really looking for it, and I feel like I tried really hard. And I did study Kabbalah for 2 years, and I was praying to meet my soulmate. Right, and then there's, in Kabbalah also, they taught us that a woman's purpose is to direct a man's energy where to go. So, and if you don't have that, in your life, you're not completely living your purpose. I'm like, okay, I need to live my purpose. But then I was conflicted because I never really wanted to have kids. I'm a teacher, so I have lots of kids in my life. I'm happy on the kid front, right? I don't need kids. But they were also telling me that was also part of my purpose. So I felt like that was confusing, trying to justify my own desires and to fit this mold that I've been told that this is the way. I feel freedom. It's way less confusing. I don't have to ask anyone or depend on anyone except for me.
But you also don't have the vulnerable piece because you said you're single. So you don't have that space within you to even be open for that, like.
I'm not I have partners, regular partners in my life, we're just not exclusive. There's no real, I guess I call them my partners, but, and we're dating, but I wouldn't be like, this is my boyfriend, you know what I mean? Or this is my girlfriend, I don't know, it's just way less pressure. I just enjoy being able to have experiences with these people. I'd be very sad if they stopped wanting to hang out with me. It would definitely break my heart. I'd cry.
It seems like you've changed, not so much like that the label has afforded you it. Do you think that all monogamous people are just trying to get married and find the soulmate always?
Well, Facebook, right? When Facebook first came out and you had your Facebook status of single, right? And if a guy said
complicated.
Yeah, right, or that, but if a guy wouldn't say that they were your partner on Facebook, it hurt really bad. And I was like, I'm not going to go out with any person that refuses to acknowledge our relationship. I'm not going to be a secret. And now I'm kind of like, whatever.
So just real quick, I would say the best way for people who aren't polyamorous, it's kind of hard for you to get into our headspace and be like, that's understanding. For me, to explain, I would say your radio stations, right? You have your favorite, I'm dating myself, let me guess, we're all probably on the same age. Dating yourselves, when you had your favorite radio station program, you knew what to go to, this is going to be a banger, but I also love this station. It just, I love this music just as much as I love this music. It doesn't mean that you love one more than the other. You just love them a little differently. Like my relationship with rock and my relationship with R&B are two different relationships, and I love them completely different. How I gen out to them are completely different. How I receive them and how I express them are really different. It's the same as your different relationships in polyamory. That's kind of like a way to wrap your head around it. When you're not in it, it's hard to say, oh, I can understand that when you really can't. So maybe to listen to
and
more
vice
music.
versa.
It's vice versa. There's unhealed people everywhere.
Polyamory keeps physical intimacy more exciting than monogamy.
I'm sure you've heard of the Owens house. The one where sisters gather. The one that neighbors whisper is magic. Here's the thing about magic. We just call it Wayfair. Shop Wayfair's collection inspired by practical magic too. And see the movie.
What do you do when you need to grow your team fast? You use Upwork to tap specialized talent across 125 categories.
My chief of staff is from Upwork. Leveraging Upwork is a huge secret advantage that we have.
Sign up and post a job for free.
You're not sure?
I agree with both.
Oh, pick one.
Yeah, I know.
I know you don't.
Yeah, I
Hey,
think
y'all
we're
still
all
in
kind
here,
of, but if
man?
I had to
Okay.
level
Okay.
down, it's no.
So I am 38 years young, Indian American female. I have never had intercourse. So, and that's a more complicated, in-depth thing, but I just want to, on the surface, just say, from my in my humble opinion, individuals of
She said she 38 and never had intercourse. I wonder how many men been with her.
Any culture.
They got one broke up like a bit.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of, but if I
She
had
said
to
what?
level down, it's no.
So I am 38 years young, Indian American female. I have never had intercourse. So, and that's a more complicated, in-depth thing. I just want to, on the surface, just say, from my in my humble opinion, individuals of any culture who practice promiscuity, I think it's just gross. Just bodily fluids being exchanged, emotions being hurt, STDs, STIs, UTIs. I think it's just gross, and I just. And to your point, it's hard for us to understand you, and it's hard for you guys to understand us. And neither is right nor wrong. It's just different.
Okay, yeah, I could agree. I think
She
for
lying
me,
like
I don't
a
even
bit.
eat after someone who's
If,
double
if,
dipping.
if she ain't lying, and if she is telling the truth, like I said, whatever guy got with her and started dating her, their relationship did not last long.
And I don't even drink after people, so that's how I feel things. But also, I feel I wanted to know, do you feel if you did have a safe relationship that you would probably be monogamous?
Like I said, it depends on the person. I just have not, I tried to meet that person for my entire life. And I found that it does not exist. It's a myth. I think the Prince Charming myth of you're going to find the perfect husband that'll meet all your needs and be understanding for everything, it's just impossible. You're asking for way too much of one person, and it just isn't real. We believe this thing because we've been told this thing exists, but it's not real. It's not real.
When I hear you though, it makes me really sad because you said that it sounds to me like you desire a monogamous relationship, you just haven't found one, and then you just compromising and just let me just date whoever I can. And then also you even said the people that I'm dating, I hope they don't stop talking to me. Meaning you desire that kind of commitment. You want a you do want, because if they leave, you're gonna be sad. So you're wanting that commitment from them, but then at the same time, you're not really in a monogamous relationship with them. So they will
That
probably.
happens in monogamy too.
Yeah, but I mean, she's saying she has all these relationships, but then she wants to continue keeping them. But
You're not entirely wrong. I just feel like I changed. My beliefs in what I want completely changed because I just accepted reality.
yeah, you accepted the fact that you're probably not gonna find that one person that's gonna commit to you. So you decided to just be open about it.
And with partners, with people, we never know when anything's going to happen, right? Someone could die the next day. It's the same thing. It's just, I love these people. I don't want to see them go
So my
away.
question is, if you did find someone that wants to commit to you and wants to be with you monogamously and is falls over heels with you, would you be monogamous?
Well, I thought I found that person, but they were so jealous. It made me, that's actually was my final. When I was in that jealous relationship and this guy would fall apart anytime.
But if there's somebody that's not jealous and are you open to that?
Again, you're talking about this magical Prince Charming person that doesn't exist.
So I have owned my own play club for the last 3 years, and
What's a play
I
club?
have you go in there and you have sex. You can have sex. You practice BDSM. I'm a BDSM educator and entertainer, and I also coach people on intimacy and all that stuff. So it's a club where adults come in and you come with your partner. No matter if you're practicing monogamy or polyamory, you can come in there and explore by yourself with a group or whatever you choose yourself. It's whatever you're okay with and whatever you're going in there to do. You don't have to be polyamory to be in a public space to have sex with your partner or to learn sexuality. And so I just want, the reason why I couldn't, because I have seen polyamory groups come in, monogamy, monogamous couples come in and explore, have amazing, awesome, crazy sex. I've seen it all up and down, and I don't think that you need to. It doesn't matter if you're with one person or with 2 or 3 or 5.
I want to piggyback off of that, you know? I think that it's your partner, that you and your partner's connection that brings that excitement, and less about how many partners to have that excitement. Because even in polyamory, you can practice conscious monogamy, which means, like, for instance, we're in a V-shaped polydynamic. Me and her husband don't have sex, her and I do, and she's the V anchor between us both, right? So, even in that sense, I date her, I don't have 5, 6, 7 other girlfriends currently, or anything like that. Now, I think that it's a big misconception that you have all these partners and then you're having sex with all these people, you know, and that you need all that to have that excitement. I was married before I had my ex-wife, 15 years before that. You know what I mean? I think that when you're emotionally connected to and spiritually connected to an individual, intimacy is just going to blossom beautifully, regardless if you're polyamorous or monogamous. It's that specific partner.
That maybe you become more free to explore.
Yes.
Does STDs or anything ever become like a concern?
Like everywhere, all the time,
every
day, always.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Obviously, if you're going into a public place that is, you know, giving you the space to be free and explore and have sex, it's your choice. If you know, to check, that's just because you're polyamory doesn't mean we're being careless about who's entering our body or how we swapping fluids and stuff. And even like everybody should be checking and protecting themselves.
It's important.
Even in public spaces, you can still be protected and not catch anything. You just gotta obviously be grown and mature and healed.
On this side, ladies, question. How do you think long-term monogamous couples keep intimacy alive?
I believe there's a strong ethical, intellectual, and emotional connection that has served as a foundation. That's what enables that relationship to continue for a long time.
Well, not continue. I'm talking about keeping it exciting. That's specifically what I'm talking about. That's because, and I'm contrasting it to the ladies on this side because someone would say this is more fun. So how do you keep that fun in a monogamous relationship?
I feel like everybody's different. So like everybody's love language is different, right? It could be in different ways. It could be verbally, it could be cuddling, it could be just so many different ways. But to keep it going, it's always, I feel like dates are really important. When you're with somebody for a long time, to always continue dating and treating each other like you just like you're just getting to know each other, even though you already know each other. Dating is important, to take each other out on dates, go out and then come back home, give each other kisses and so forth. But I feel like that's one of the best ways to keep it going, is going on a date every weekend or every so often.
I would hope that you don't even have to like leave your home. It's not about having to go on dates.
No, yeah, but you could do it at home.
But I think also, they say it's like you always have to be choosing each other.
Right.
And even what you spoke about, like the depth of communication that you have with your partner and that you've experienced in polyamorous relationships, I think having that in monogamy and really being present for each other and constantly curious. And for me, it's more about emotional connection. So offering that sort of support, I think that breeds a lot of intimacy that's ongoing. So it's like always wanting to go deeper with someone and to remember that even though you're together, you have to constantly be knowing them better, So I think to me, like, love is a series of conversations. So I think the more that you talk, the more passion and intimacy.
I also would say, like, your mental has to be good, you know, like even within yourself. I feel like if you are still mentally healthy, you're going to be your best self for your partner. And I always believe like never lose your inner child. And so I feel that with, you know, your partner as well, you never want to lose that. You know, keep pursuing, keep being creative in date nights, and even at home, let's cook together. Because even if you have kids, your kids are going to leave you, you know, so it's still just going to be you two. So you got to keep that spark alive. But I feel like as long as you still are doing good with, you know, making sure you're good mentally, mental health is, you know, so important. I feel like you're your best self, you're going to be your best self for your partner as well.
Thank you. And to contrast that on this side, can having multiple partners actually make intimacy feel less special or meaningful? And even in your situation, you're not sleeping with her husband, but you know she is. So does it make intimacy feel less special or less meaningful knowing that it's not that sacred relationship between only two people?
I feel like your question, it's almost like you need to flip it on its head and make it a turn on. So it's like, for example, you know, if I'm feeling a little bit jealous about one of my partners because I know there's something has just happened, you know, it's, you can flip that jealousy on its head and actually make it something that you're like, well, I have him now. You know, he's mine now.
Very possessive, though.
And it's, I don't know, I find it to be hot at times.
Fun and hot.
Yeah.
So you flip it on.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Do you get jealous when she's with her husband? I mean, sometimes
I'm not thinking I get jealous a lot over different things. That's just not one of them. I'm just being honest. Even when we met, actually, I was married too with my ex-wife as well. And so when we first got together, it's a lot simpler with all parties involved, knowing that, okay, I have a partner I'm going home to, you have a partner you're going home to. So it's a different dynamic versus, you know, it's a partner. And then we split our own ways for, you know, other infidelities and that kind of stuff we won't get into. And I think that it's all about communication. You know what I mean? I think being a lesbian, not around men, it was something I had to learn through. And also like living, we live together full time. We live life together full time. Those dates we do every Tuesday. The three of us go out all together, and we specifically save Tuesdays to spend time together, to be intentional, and to also generate that. So even though me and him, we're not compatible in a traditional sexual aspect, so many other ways we are, and we share our intimacy in a little different way. So I wouldn't say that the right word is jealousy. I would say I've adapted as an individual to grow and be like, okay, this is how I can show love, express love. This is how I'm willing to accept and receive love. And he knows that my sign is do not enter. And we can do all kinds of things in different capacities. And even then, like, he gives us the space to have our own time. We give each other spaces to have our own time if we need that. Outside of that, we typically do life together.
She's getting all the love, huh?
She
Yeah. The next prompt is, children are better raised in monogamous households. Okay.
My parents were monogamous and they were terrible.
I think the why I'm saying yes is because while in polygamous relationships, they have basically the mother can go and then the child can have a babysitter, a second mom, or a second dad, or whatever, which is great. But the reason why I'm choosing monogamy is because there's also like breakups, and that could happen in any relationship. However, I feel like it's harder on them, especially after watching like Sister Wives and they all broke up. It is really hard, and you know there was a situation that occurred with one of the sons because he couldn't have. It was just like a lot of. I just seeing everything go down. I just feel like I do feel that monogamy is best. You have your dad, your mom. It's you know straight. You know, maybe some people don't even have a dad or a mom, but I do feel monogamous relationships is the best.
50% of all marriages end in divorce.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Even then,
that trauma.
It's so traumatizing.
And there's also a website for married men that are seeking arrangements outside of marriage. So
I heard it. I
and
heard
it's
that
about
too.
billions of married men.
I think in having a child, see that I'm a mother. My daughter's 9 years old. When my ex-wife and I separated, she was 7. So she's seen our inception and she's seen it all, even down to like, does anybody have kids or anything like that, or even have or children of whatever. When you're dealing with that, I take a spot. Even talking to my daughter, like I told her, I was like, baby, I'm so sorry that you have to go back and forth between one house and another. You were raised in one house, you were everything traditional, and even then, like even if, it doesn't matter. When we split, I told her, I was like, I'm sorry to go back and forth. My 7-year-old said, Mom, everything is as it has to be. Like, I'm happy. I just want life to be happy. 7, nothing pre in her head, nothing. None of that. It helps them show A, commitment, B, communication, and see that you will be okay after this breakup or whatever happens. I think that in movies, we see a lot of unions. We don't see a lot of the aftermath, right? Us as humans, how do we grow when we're no longer with this person? Who we are when we're no longer with this person? The journey that we dive into here, that what do I need to heal inside here before even thinking about another person? I think your children see that. They're able to do better communication-wise. Not only that, I think it's also different on the type of polyamory that you are, right? If you have 10 partners and you're introducing your children to 10 partners, that's different. I'm not judging anybody. It all depends on the level of that commitment, right? No one, just like when you guys are dating, when you have kids, you're not going to introduce your kids to their first date with your man, right? It's going to be later when this is serious. You're going to be. It's the same over here. You know, it's later when it's serious. Then okay, I'm going to introduce her. Like we went to Universal as the first day with my daughter. Like, you know, I think having that open communication. I want my daughter to come to me. I don't want her to feel shame about anything. I'll talk to her on the phone. What are some boys that you're looking at right now at school? I love Carlos, but you know, A, B, la 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 la. I'm like, well, how's that letter in your class? Are you having A, B, C? That's what I put it back to that, whatever the case may be. But I think it's just communication, and they can also see different types of relationships. All growing up, none of us here has ever watched a Disney movie where there was more than one partner or anything of that aspect.
So who else here has children?
I do.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about how, and you do too, explain a little bit about how you would explain a polyamorous relationship to your child and just along the lines of what we were sharing?
Yes, so I actually have a 17-year-old daughter. So she's very much, Mom, tell me what's going on here. And so for her, I have expressed that it's really a journey of me meeting myself through other individuals and giving them an opportunity to show me more. I'm very village-minded. I'm very community-oriented. And I love the fact that my children have different women, sisters of mine, different men, masculine. My son, he's 6 next month. I love that they have different masculine energies that contribute to their nourishment, their mind, their spiritual development, sports. You know, some things your daughters can't have conversations with you about. Although I'm very open, my daughter came out when she was 13 and like, oh God, I've been hiding it from my dad forever. I'm so glad I could tell you. And I'm like, yeah, be who you are, you know, but there's also some conversations that she won't share with me. So it's good that I have sisters that are like, hey, it's our time. Let's go out and hang out. And then they'll tell me a little bit, not too much, but you know, if Lauren catches that, not too much.
When you say sisters, you're talking about
women that are my partners. So I have 3 masculine partners and 2 feminine partners. And 2 are out of state. You know, we're spread out a little bit, but we still make time for each other.
So how do you explain that to, I don't know at what point you started these relationships, you said you're 17, but your son is 6. So how do you explain your lifestyle to your children? How do you explain that to them?
Yeah, it's just, hey, I'm journeying. I'm meeting different versions of myself, and I explain the spiritual component because I'm very, very spiritually inclined, and I love that my children, you know, they can blend human relating with also spiritual relating, and why the connections are much deeper than just the physical attraction. So it's just.
And how did your son receive that when obviously we know in society it's only one partner. That's all they see, their friends. I mean, this is so different than what they know. So how did he receive that? And or are there conversations about that?
The comments be funny as shit.
Yeah, but he's also very smart. He's a starseed, so he's really like, you know, Mom. But you know, the thing is, he loves it. My son's father is not active in his life in the sense that I would want him to be, but Michael is the sports dad, you know, without saying everybody's name, you know, Brandon is the other dad, you know, he provides different elements that give my son a well-rounded, you know, he gets to have conversations with my father in his life, so he gets to contribute, he gets the chance to grow through different love encounters and loving experiences that one teach. He's a melanated brother. So one, in my community, we're taught to be against each other.
My bad, y'all. I'm over here trying to.
I'm melanated. I'm against you, and you're not on my team. So what I'm raising is culturally aware children.
Trying to get my character
hey,
right.
Your sister's not your enemy, and your brother, your skin brother, not skin brother, they're not your enemies either. So you can learn from each other. So it's a little bit different creating this new paradigm with my children. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning and exploring these things, but they take to it. They ask a lot of questions. I'm very open with it.
Put on the charger.
My son loves it. He loves his.
So I don't have children of my own, but I am very close with my sister and her kids. I'm the godmother of her kids, and her youngest, she's 8, and I'm very out loud with my life. It's love, and whatever I'm showing my 8-year-old, we're loving humans, coexisting. So she noticed that I have a girlfriend. She loves Tio. Tio is like her world, and she finally answered. She asked about, is Daphne? Actually, the way she asked, she became very close to her daughter. They're the same age, and they became like best friends. And all of a sudden, like the way her brain like processed this, she came up to me. She goes, "Titi, does this mean that? Can I say her name? Does this mean that Layla is my cousin?" And like in her own brain, she kind of like did this whole math, And I was just kind of like, "Mommy, yes, you're correct." And we kind of just left it there. Then a month passed. She came back home and she was like, "Titi, my friends think it's weird that you have a husband and a girlfriend." And I was like, "Oh, here I am." So I was like, "Well, Mommy, the way I'm an educator, and I don't believe in like educating. I feel like it's the best rather than hiding, And I'm not doing anything wrong." So the way I said it, I was like, "Well, Mommy, love is love, and it's not for everybody. If Mommy and Daddy is enough, that's awesome. And if there's more than one person to a couple, that's also okay. But it doesn't mean that it's okay for everybody." And then I just kind of explained it as love is love. And she was like, "Okay, Titi." And she loves hers. Everybody,
My daughter calls her Mamacita, me Mama, and my ex-wife Mommy. And it works
she has
out.
Mommy, Mama, and Mamacita.
What you want to do is save hundreds when Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
That's great, but can you ask your friend to stop digging into the green?
I can ask, but he's not going to. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
Impossible.
Nina can't code.
Interesting. Can it generate reports?
I can now.
Nice.
So you're saying we can all build apps now?
Yeah.
I'm on lunch.
I gotta make a call.
I'll be right
In my
back.
office.
Just built an inventory tracker.
Protein calculator.
Let's share an app.
A workflow manager that's
Tracks who still owes for the group lunch.
Crash duty schedule. Since no one seems to care.
there's built a
I just created a
performance
goal
manager.
tracking system.
We built the same thing, didn't we?
Yep.
Can this thing manage content?
Is the sergeant
I
required?
want to animate this graph.
Create a party planner.
Profesor de español.
An inter-office dating app.
For dogs. For office dogs. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And I'm a high school teacher, so I've talked to students as well about polyamory. When they've asked me, "Are you married?" My students always ask that right away.
Are you allowed to share that?
And well, I don't share obviously intimate sexual things with my students because I'd be fired. But what I do say is, society tells you that you're supposed to be with one person and get married and have kids, and I just want to let you know you don't need to do that. And I've chosen not to do that with myself, and I'm really happy right now. I know you guys might think that I'm like dark and sad, but I'm actually a pretty happy person.
I agree. I actually agree with you on 2 points. Like when I was growing up, I was born and raised in America. My parents are from India. And in the New Jersey public school system, I address my teachers as Mr., Ms., or Mrs., right? So to your point, yeah, society does tell us it's usually get married, have kids. But then on the second point you mentioned earlier, you don't care to have kids and whatnot. I'm actually the same. And as an Indian American millennial, and I make light of it, I say that I don't have a biological clock. I have a beautiful watch though.
Thank you. The next prompt is, emotional intimacy is stronger in monogamous relationships. Okay, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, for me personally, I am very territorial. And so I would only just want to be with that person. It's gonna be my husband, of course. Right now, I'm not dating. I am in a season of dating myself. But I feel like, yeah, I would need to just be with that. It's stronger one person. You don't have to worry about soul ties. You're not worrying about if someone has an STD or anything like that. That's just for me personally.
Emotional for me, with one person, it takes a lot of energy, I feel like, to spread yourself everywhere. I do have a lot of friends. I do have a lot of best friends, family, sister, everybody. I have a lot of friends that I also express myself with, but however, when it comes down to it, it's my partner, who's my best friend, who I can pour myself out to. And it's wonderful. There's no judgment, and it's just a beautiful relationship.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I guess we have to acknowledge that we don't know what we don't know. Even hearing other people's things, we don't know. We're listening, but I haven't experienced it, so I can't say for sure. I think I just aspire to really build a relationship with one person and that be like the emotional backbone to everything, while also still opening up to strangers and people that I meet and not reserving my love or my candor for one partner that I'm with. But I think that sometimes in polyamorous relationships, it feels like you're kind of splitting off to other people, and I feel a little bit more potent.
I would like to speak on here. I think the beautiful part of the different types of polyamory that there is, like specifically with us, a triad, V-shape, whatever the case may be, the three of us, there's always someone to mediate. So let's say her and I, whatever, we're not conflict resolution the way that we should. That third person can come and mediate and knows us to a whole level. It's like, well, I know this about you, and this is coming from this aspect actually instead of this. And having that third person has actually helped increase our emotional intimacy. The three of us, you can hire people, but
just
they
too
know
many
you
people
in and out, live with you, see your patterns, know your unhealed parts of yourself. So, you know what I mean? They know a different level of you that you can hold back to your therapist. You can't hold back your patterns that's visible. You can't hold back your unhealed self that happens to come out, but you can control what you say to your therapist. So when you have someone that you don't even realize pay that much attention, and then you hear your conflict resolution, they're like, actually, can I help you guys with this? Let's, and we can do it. We call it the hot seat. Hey, we're gonna need to call out the hot seat, and we're gonna talk to each other about it. And we have those uncomfortable conversations, but really what it is, it's bringing us together, because now we're also addressing the vulnerabilities within each other as well, and saying, I see you, I know where this is coming from, this is how we're going to heal from it, and we're going to be fine just together, being able to talk about it unfilteredly.
I think that's important what you mentioned. I think what she's also saying though is that if you're talking to this man for, let's talk about science, let's talk about my womb, let's talk about sex, like this person is for different things, then it's like you're splitting some of your emotional depth.
I can understand.
I have 2 children. I don't love one more than I love the other. I split myself between the 2 of them, and it's natural to me, and I do it with grace and ease. I'm a master's student now. I do that. I run a business. I'm an author. I do all these things with ease. So I'm already splitting and dividing myself. But it's nature to balance it.
But you're a master's student, so you're in school, but in school you're not talking about your sex life, you're talking about academics. So it's different in a sense that when you have one partner, you're sharing everything with that person, all aspects of you. We're all different in different.
Polyamory, each relationship is different.
It's so different.
They're not coded. They're not the same.
That's the
That's
question.
like the umbrella. Polyamory is the umbrella,
Right.
and then there's different.
Like us, we do life together, so we do see each other. We don't split with other people. It's us 3.
Right,
so we're
but
doing,
she may have, let's say she had something happen to her during her day that really bothered her, and she shares it with her husband, but she doesn't share it with you. She does not have to. She does not have to. Her husband will be getting a piece of her that you did not get. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's
FaceTimes
both of us at the same time. That's how literally.
Well, that's your relationship.
But yeah, it's true. That's part
Then
of
if
the
she
boundaries
didn't,
of
then
communication
she's an
too.
unhealed person. Like it's on both sides. They both work. They both can be beautiful, and it just depends on like how much trauma do you have and how much self work have you done for you to carry on a healthy relationship.
I just feel like you gotta be a mentally strong person, because I would be like, wait, what you mean you didn't tell me what happened today? Like,
But that's the thing. That doesn't happen. That scenario in this case, no.
We hold it. Every night we have sacred circle and our stuff about our day. We talk about it.
Sometimes like listening to you guys, I feel like you would absolutely collapse actually if you found out that something was shared.
Yeah, that's sad. But that doesn't happen.
I feel like there's
here.
a level of what I'm hearing is like control to try to mitigate things that would really hurt you rather than being like, God, if this one person hurt me, I'd be left on my own to figure it out, and I'd have to draw from within, not from my other partner that's gonna pick me up in the aisle and be like, I've got you. It's like I have to be picked up by a higher source that's invisible, not another person.
Hotels.com introduces Save Your Way. Choose how you save. Take instant savings now or bank as rewards for a future trip. Save Your Way. It's exactly what it sounds like, unlike headphones. Save Your Way, only at Hotel.
I think that even entering into polyamory, even getting into that, you have to be a certain level of healed internally to even venture into it. It's not for the weak. It's not easy whatsoever. Jealousy is a real thing. You know what I mean? Having this, being able to communicate, you have to have very high emotional intelligence, a high level of communication, and also being able to express your boundaries and say, this is what I'm okay with, this is not what I'm okay with. And before even getting into it.
So some people might think that you're actually not healed.
They're gonna,
if you're in a relationship,
they're gonna suffer.
like that.
They're gonna learn the hard.
I was going to say on the flip side that, you know, people do have boundaries. Boundaries is the word, right? We all have boundaries in monogamous and polyamorous relationships. And sometimes our partner's boundaries, they don't want to hear that thing that went bad in your day. That's a boundary for them. They don't want to be the savior every single time through something. So that's why you have other people you can do that with.
I call it like a
You don't need
container.
other people.
In relating and what I teach and coach is it's a container. So when you come home, you have a vent, you're aware of if it's your higher self speaking, your inner child, your ego, your animal side, what's speaking. So you introduce that nature and you say, or you ask your person. One of the reasons why my relationships are so good, I've been proposed to so many times, girl. They're married, you know, just all of these things, you know, and the reason being is because I asked for permission to drop my crap off on you. Hey, are you in a space to hear this vent? If you say no, then to your point, I have to be a big girl. I'm going to yourself. I'm getting these downloads on how to heal myself. That takes me back into my work. Or I can go lean into a partner, or I can pay for a therapist. I have so many options, but
it's just more freedom, I feel like, in general.
And the next prompt is, marriage should be allowed to exist between more than two people.
I'm saying no, it should not. It should be two people.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I want that, but I'm just saying that, you know, what is it called? Like, I just want to let people be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, with a lot of the questions, it's like, okay, I don't want that, but other people can.
Right.
You know, do I want it to become more and more prevalent? I'm not so sure. But I think that if that's what seems like it's working for someone and that's what they want for themselves, I'm not gonna sit around and be like, don't do that. I'm not afraid of it. I don't want it. I haven't found that I want that. But if someone else seems to need that, I just don't feel like I'm really that motivated to change people's minds.
Yeah, I think it was more so geared towards our own personal feelings, like what we want for our own lives. Like for me, I'm like, oh yeah, no, it just needs to be me and my husband. But for you guys, it's like, I'm not going to be like, no, they should be shunned or anything. You know, it's like people should live how they want to live.
I believe marriage is a religious and cultural concept which was created generations ago.
Right.
Times have changed.
It's not our nature.
Created.
But times have changed, and it was established centuries, generations ago, and so things have changed. Times have changed. But back then, they didn't know about, or like even for me, I'm in my mid to late 30s now. Like me, growing up in the 90s, I didn't know what LGBTQ or anything was. It just wasn't taught in the New Jersey public school system, if you will.
It wasn't taught in our school system.
Right. No, but again, since even since the 90s, things have changed. Culture, social media, internet. But my own sister is 35, and she's LGBT.
Polygamy, polyamory, multiple wives, multiple husbands, biblically, it's definitely mirrored throughout time, space, centuries, ancestrally, religiously, culturally. I think that America, I'm just going to say America as a whole, has the cultural society, I think, has limited our capacities, our mindsets into what should be allowed, what shouldn't be allowed. I think it's more of a societal thing than it is more than anything else. But there's definitely like history of it in the past.
Marriage is between two people. But if you allow more than two people, then people could be married multiple times without the knowledge of the first person, and that can cause problems.
Well,
but the other,
But who says that? Like, who came up with that? That's what they need to understand, though. What if the person who created marriage said it was 3 or 4 people instead of 2? You know what I'm saying? Like.
so that could be confusing. The other thing is that if you are in a polygamous relationship, in a way, you're also invalidating that person's rights to their, like if they put in money, there's 3 people that are married, you're putting money into the pot. That person also deserves their piece of the pot. So when they break up, what happens is that they don't have any legal status. So then that's another issue.
Let me ask this just about both sides. Do you see marriage as a legal contract, a spiritual bond, or both?
Both.
Okay, so all of it. Do you think that the government or society should have any power to define what marriage looks like?
Absolutely not.
Well, anyone have a yes? Do you think that the government or society should have any power to ever define what marriage should look like?
Well, there should be some kind of definition to understand what marriage is in the legal status.
Okay.
Like if you met me 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said love and marriage are the same thing, but life has hit me in the past couple of years and I've realized that love and marriage are 2 different things.
Marriage is a business contract.
Right, yes, agreed.
And if you
It can
if you don't want to go into this business contract with this person, first of all, the legal aspect, I think most of you guys, we've all been legally married. The legal aspect doesn't bound somebody. Oh, right. Yeah, my bad, sorry. Yeah, but the legal aspect doesn't bound that person to you. And I think that's what we get hung up on as a culture sometimes. Is like, oh, if you marry me, then you're mine, which is possession, it's aggression, and it's not rooted in facts. Because like we've all touched on, someone can still decide against that. For me, marriage is spiritual. That's why I didn't really answer that, because I don't think that the government can tell me who to not love. You already want to tell me what to eat, what to drink, how to dress, you're a slut if you're not monogamous. When to your point, men are non-monogamous, but if a woman comes out non-monogamous, now, you're a harlot, all these negative things. So we're already really very oppressed by their ideas and their thoughts and their visions of what we as a culture should be, when we've got, as you said, centuries of proof that in addition to that, they've meant us no well. These are just one size fits all. I don't even like one size fits all clothes. I don't want a one size fits all relationship, because it's different. It's going to be very different depending on what you're requiring and the work you've done, like you said.
And I feel like there's so many of us on this planet to think that you should follow this one format, and if you don't, you're a slut.
There definitely has to be some fixing. Like I said, there has to be a way where legitimate polygamous people who are not marrying little kids or anything else like that,
all right, child,
who are actually
get up out of here, man. I'm finna let this computer charge. You understand what I'm saying? Turn this shit up. And I'll get a job tomorrow.